in all in serious, I really do need a new camera.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're on that grind for one.
I mean, trust me, it's so good though. The Canon M50 I talked about before, and the Sony A7400, which I saw like a friend of mine use. But you know, it shoots in 4K. I want to shoot in 4K. You know,
Mehdi needs his new toys.
I need new toys. Videography, you know, this is a good one, old reliable, but it shoots in 1080p. But even the 1080p is so restrictive for his ISO and whatnot. So
it's already good if it shoots in 1080p. Most YouTube videos are shot in 1080p.
And for me, it's not that I want to shoot nighttime. It doesn't do well at nighttime. I love nighttime for like filming. You know, I want to film at nighttime. You know, you want to go fully horror with it. You know, like scary.
Is it because of the lighting that doesn't work?
It's just that when you use higher ISO, it will become more pixelated looking. Like you see more of the pixels at night. As well as you see the daytime or whatnot, you do see a lot more pixels that compensate for it. So you know, something to consider about. But anyway, let's get started. Welcome to the Hospitality Chat podcast. My name is Mehdi Rahman, and we have our host Matthew Drummond-Poynter and Joana Oliveira, and we have our good friend Yasin. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're just talking about cameras and vapes and all of that. But I think when it talks about camera, I can't believe I said that. That's actually jokes. But when we talk about cameras here, we think about the importance of videography. I mean, content is key for companies nowadays. We expect all kind of things being built, whether it's emails, blogs, videos, infographics, presentations, podcasts, and even social media posts. But I feel like when it comes to the types of contents that we make here, videos should always be considered the most important thing because it's the visualization of your brand. I mean, whether it's how you represent your brand. And I think in accordance to like demand metrics in partnership with Vidyard, 43% of surveys respond to that. Videos are increasingly the most important form of content that are provided. And that doesn't just apply to marketing, but it involves on like many steps and processes and even a sense of movement. It becomes like a key tool now, considering how oversaturated the video and social media marketing is. Like videos are becoming more like the most overused, over-reliant tool, which is true in a good way.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, definitely gets borne out, actually. There's some pretty encouraging data on this one that shows that kind of like, in terms of like engagement, like from the public, videos are kind of like miles ahead in terms of compared to their contemporaries, like blog posts and even images and such like. It's kind of like one of the very few forms of content where you can actually get people to engage with it for more than, let's say, 5 seconds or so. And so in that form, it's actually a really good kind of way to get like a better kind of like bang for your buck in terms of like how much you're kind of like spending on your video marketing campaigns. And this is basically true across like nearly all like social media platforms that have been surveyed. YouTube naturally, but also stuff like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and all those are also, it kind of gets borne out that people are just more likely to stick around for these types of content. I'm guessing quite a lot of this is kind of due to kind of like how there's kind of like both a visual and an audio element that kind of like can really kind of like engage people in that way compared to, I don't know, just reading like a load of like text or something like that. But also I think videos kind of like give you like a lot of room to kind of like add like a lot of kind of visual flair and audio effects and such. Like there's so much more you can do with videos than like most other forms of content, and I think that's just really awesome. And I think that's something that definitely like most of our listeners could really be doing in their like video adverts and stuff.
I mean, it is when it comes to the production for videos and that, it is a lot more effort than compared to like doing photography and whatnot. But I feel like there are things to get started. I mean, we know that videos are in demand from consumers. From learning and educational content alone drives over 1 billion views a day on YouTube. But according to also like the WISO State of Video Marketing Survey, 68% even think that by learning a new product service by watching a short video. I mean, right now here on OrderPin, we're trying to promote our apps through videos, YouTube videos, whether it's like the instructional videos as well as an overview videos of our products. In this case, we're actually planning on doing is showing Boss Hero, which is our newest app that we are currently preparing for release at the time of the recording, of course.
Naturally.
Of course.
Yeah, in terms of other interesting statistics, just to return to my previous point, people average spend like 5 times longer staring at videos than they do say at like pictures or like text-based formats and such like. So again, it just shows that like there's hard data on this one that really kind of shows that these are kind of like a good metric. And also what you say about kind of like you mentioned YouTube and such like, creating videos gives you access to sites like YouTube, which is I believe the second most visited site on the web, which of course means that it's an excellent place to kind of get your kind of like marketing and your restaurant as like a formative presence on there, because you're going to be getting so many more people on there compared to their contemporaries.
And when we say YouTube, it doesn't mean you have to do a 10-minute video. It can be YouTube Shorts, which is something that is a feature that just came up, I think this year, if I'm not mistaken. And also TikTok, which is a 3-minute video app. So you can literally just show all your plates, all your courses on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. So when we say YouTube, we don't mean for you to do a big ass video 10 to 30 minutes long showing off your food. We mean you can do a 3 to 5 minute video showing off your favorite plates, showing off where your restaurant is, all the things you do at the restaurant, because any video takes long. I mean, me and Mehdi know how long videos take. I know for a sound design perspective, he knows from filming. So I'm assuming for most restaurant people that either have some knowledge or no knowledge, they would think, oh, you have to make a YouTube video. They would not know what to do. So that's what we're here for, to give you the basics of doing a YouTube video / TikTok / what's it called on Instagram? Reels.
I mean, it doesn't need to be say YouTube alone. Actually, I think using the stories from Instagram, Snapchat to promote your restaurant would be even much more easier, because all you got to do, it could be simple as you filming the restaurant alone and then adding, because there's more like tools for the stories, like adding music to the stories, and you're just filming it alone. You know, you can probably, I mean, it's much more easier considering now our phones alone are much more advanced than any other DSLR, so they don't need to pay, say, crazy amount of money just for the sake of like having good quality videos. Like our phones are now, a lot more phones now are a lot more companies who make phones understand the importance of photography and videography, so they added advanced or camera pro features, something you'd see in a DSLR, which is you know, ISO sensitivity, white balance, you know, flash, and as well as auto and manual focus as well. That we don't need to worry, as well as understanding exposure. You know, a lot more cameras. They're taking much more to an aperture rating. Sorry, I'm kind of listing out all the things in a camera, but all these little features that you have in like a normal DSLR right here would be used for like, you could be used on the phone now because they all got the pro feature. I think that was something where the restaurant owners would want to do almost like first-hand or actual promotion themselves rather than relying on a third-party source. They could easily do it through, you know, their phones, and I think that is made much more easier, and it can not break into the budget in terms of marketing promotion, where a lot of the promotion is done by primary sources than secondary and third parties.
You have to be careful. Go.
Yeah, another thing, in like just like what Matthew said about the reviews and the actual imagery, what people watch and stuff. People obviously, in terms of promoting the restaurant through videography, people actually like to look at things more than read things as well. And the reviews that comes later. Also, in terms of like promoting the restaurant and stuff through videography, when you look at an imagery, it could represent multiple things, not just the colors and this and that. First of all, the mood. I look at something, I'll get excited. I see the colors, not just that, the organization of the restaurant, how organized they are. You could pause the video and people need to concentrate on. So when you're making an actual video and someone is watching it, like a consumer that actually wants to go to the restaurant, they'll pause the video and they'll just look closely at how organized the restaurant is. Would they feel comfortable sitting there? Stuff like that, the lighting, the space between other tables and stuff like that. Just like me, I will look at that stuff as well. Hygiene as well. When you're looking at videos and stuff, people automatically think, you know what, it's very spacious, clean floor, tables, all of that. And with the TikTok thing, I think Joanna said, with that's very important as well, because nowadays you have a lot of influencers promoting restaurants and stuff. And instead of a long YouTube video, which a lot of restaurant owners saying, oh, if I put it on YouTube, a lot of people will see it. Obviously, you need to look at, you know, current affairs, what's going on right now. You got TikTok taking over. You got so many influencers. From 2019 till now, it's literally growing. Many influencers going to different restaurants, reviewing it. You know, you have like a 10-second clip of one item, and then you got the background as well. So everything has to be perfect when it comes to videography, representation of the restaurant as well, because that 10 seconds or that 5 seconds clip within that TikTok video can show numerous things about a restaurant.
And with Instagram, because Mehdi was talking about Instagram stories, you have to be careful because Instagram stories, they delete themselves after 24 hours. So if you want to do a video on Instagram, it's either a post or a reel, because if it's on your story, it should be like a promotion, you know what I mean? But if you want something that sticks and stays, you have to do a reel or a story that stays underneath your profile. So it stays there forever so people can come in and out and see it.
There's also highlights as well for stories. You know, if you want to save your stories, you can also save it as a highlight, you know, saying, you know, could be like, say, our restaurant, for example, like I would do for any posts that I do, like say if it's behind the scenes or any shots that I've taken in London or basically digital art or experimentation, I kind of put into my stories, and a lot of my stories get saved. Yeah, that's it. Is my instant.
He's plugging himself.
I know, I know, I love it. I don't care. Again, I say it's a plug. I don't care. But this is the example. Like, you know, these stories like are made for, like, say, promotional one. You could save them into your profile. I mean, it's under highlights. You just press when you look into a story that you made. It'll be underneath. There's like a heart. Inside in the circle inside is like a heart. Just press that and create a new highlight. It'll be a lot of your stories be clumped together. So anytime it's relation to, say, like the promotion of your restaurant or new offers or new items of your menus you put in your stories, just save it under the categories of your highlights, and it'll be a way to organize yourself. And not only that, it'll be like, oh, let's see what's new and whatnot.
And you don't want too many highlights as well. You want like 3 concentrated highlights, because, you know, your phone isn't too big, do you know what I mean? And you have like, you could literally fit like probably 3 highlights you can see there. So almost like keep on sliding and stuff. They want to click what they see. They see, you know,
it's more like put the most important highlights on the top 3, and then if you want to add everything else you can, but saying like your menus and what your restaurant looks like and whatever else, you could just put it on the top 3 so people can see it right as they go into your account. And then everything else that you like or enjoy, you can put it on the side and people can then scroll if they want to.
Especially like stuff like prices as well. If you're gonna have the menu, have the price next to it, because they don't want to have like 100 photos later. They don't want to see the prices right at the end. They're like, oh, I saw the imagery. I saw all the employees smiling in one picture. I want to see the prices now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get me?
Same with TikTok. TikTok is like a guilty pleasure. I feel like all of us, maybe not. I'm guilty of it. You go on TikTok and then 3 hours later you're still on it and you don't know what happened. You're just scrolling endlessly on TikTok. So it's a really good platform to put your account on, because a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, are on TikTok at all times, all over the world. So TikTok is probably one of the most efficient apps right now for putting things out there.
It's very effective whilst promoting, because I'll be using TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but I'll log in now and again, and I know for a fact whilst I'm scrolling through TikTok and I don't know, come across a restaurant, 2 seconds later my brother will scroll through TikTok and come across the same restaurant. So that's a really good platform to promote. I
don't know how they do that, but they do that, and it's scary.
Crazy, isn't it? Scary. It's scary, but it's like a free, amazing.
I'll agree.
It's free as well. Free promotion. I mean, through TikTok, you just need good camera quality. It's not hard to get influencers to start filming, you know, your food and stuff. But yeah, that's why I say, you know, even when it comes to financing and stuff, you know, finance wisely and stuff. What you're spending most of your money on within the restaurant, and promotion, videography. That's super important and stuff, because even though it's free, you have to find the most effective way of promoting it through videography as well. You know what I mean? To capture everything and not make sure that customers don't wait to find the information they actually want about the restaurant. They want to see it all in one. Pause, play, I want to see everything.
Right, yeah, and I think this actually touches on, I guess, for a piece of advice I'd have for anyone who's starting to do videography to promote their restaurant. Keep it real short and sweet, and front load as much information as possible. Data shows that kind of viewers already start clicking off after about 10 seconds, then the real dramatic one happens after the 30-second mark. Yes, I do blame social media for the short attention spans. But so
Really
with that
bad.
in mind, and then there's further drop-offs at kind of like the 2-minute and 5-minute mark, until at some point they're kind of like not watching at all. So by all means, don't feel discouraged to produce kind of long-form content, but definitely front load as much as your important information in those first maybe 10 seconds, 30 seconds or so you can make sure to convey all the really important stuff that you want your audience to know about, because they're going to click off it. Also, be cognizant of kind of like what platform you're using. Different platforms have different kind of like optimal video lengths, and of course many have absolute video lengths as well, in the cases of like, I think TikTok has those, though I'm admittedly not on that one. I believe
TikTok is the longest one you can do right now is 3 minutes. That was an
Right.
added feature a couple of months ago. Before, I think it was less than a minute, but now you can do 3-minute long videos.
Right, and in fact, and the optimal video length for a lot of these, YouTube is a rarity in that longer form videos are actually kind of closer to the optimal length, about 6 to 8 minutes or so. I believe after that, Instagram TV is about the longest one you can do, which I think is just under 5 minutes. After that, every single one, Instagram slides, TikTok, all of those, your optimal video length is under 1 minute. So you want to make sure your video is short, concise, to the point, and absolutely chock full. So make ample use of every second of footage you have to convey as much information and the mood of your restaurant as you want, because you're going to need to.
I mean, I
Make
think
it
it's
interesting too, like make it fun so you don't lose the attention span, because like if you think I see a video and it starts being boring, I'm not gonna wait the whole 3 minutes. So but if the video starts fun or entertaining or like something that I enjoy, then I would stay the full 3 minutes or whatever how long the video is. So as much as, yes, you have to put content on it and make sure everything is there, you also need to be sure that it's entertaining and it makes people want to stay to watch. It's a lot to do in one video, and it makes it sound insane that we're trying to say, but it works. And then it's easy to do per se. If you play all your cards right, you can 100% do it.
another thing, like that's where the music comes in as well. Like, say we have a long TikTok video promoting this restaurant, we want a really good music on that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some people just stay for the music, but whilst they listen to music, I'm like, oh, this is really nice. Wow, let me pause it here. That bit of food looks good. Oh wow, these couches look nice. I want to take nice pictures in that restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, I believe that less than 1 minute thing TikTok has, I think is really good for like actually, you know, giving the restaurant a target of, oh, we have less than 1 minute to put everything there. When it comes to the 3-minute videos, I think the best thing to do for restaurants, they could use that as well. So if they're going to show how food is prepared and stuff like that behind the kitchen, we have a 3-minute long video. We could show how our food is prepared. We could talk about hygiene behind the restaurant and stuff like that, you know, in the kitchen, all of that. So if you're going to have a short video, background, food, long video, how food is prepared, you show the kitchen. At the same time, you know, no one wants to look at, steak being flipped over numerous times. They want to see other things as well. Do you know what I mean? You could give information about, you know, your oil, the oils you use, vegan friendly, vegetarian, all of that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Within a good 3-minute video at the same time.
Yeah, you could also like do things like interview like your like chef, or like have an interview with yourself or something, where you like talk about your own like personal history and stuff. It's great for like showing like the human side of your restaurant, which is great, you know. I think we all like to know that our food's not just made by meat robots.
Yeah, I mean, empathy is important though with our audience, like putting the human face out there, and it does like gain a sense of confidence into the customers themselves, like rather than just being like, oh, it's just like a faceless entity just being in charge of a restaurant. It's real people talking to you and real people solving actual problems, and real language in a way goes a long way for the business to have a authentic representation. And you'd be seen as like a trusted guide for your restaurant if you film it or talk to the people behind the restaurant, behind the scenes. And not only that, I think there's one thing interesting is if restaurants are willing to make an investment to the promotion, marketing and promotion in the video sides, then they have got to utilize the location that they are. Not only they're marketing the restaurant, they have to market the place they're at as well. Like, you know, what is going to entice them to come from your area? You want to have to look at, because like I said, I live in, so sometimes, you know, can have a bit of a dodgy representation, you know, with how it's out and about. I mean, like from how I see my area to be, but then when I look at, say, that place called Oodles, which is like a Chinese place, for example, I saw the Instagram promotion to it, and they had like a drone shot of, but head looking at that full building in the area by the town center called Pioneer Point. That drone shot they saw of it, I think I'm sure Daniel will put it out there if he finds it. Just that drone shot kind of
Making
moving
Daniel
up.
work.
I know I am making it. Right,
Just go to.
Yes, yeah,
What Daniel?
almost. But when you look at the drone shot, just moving up here, but at like almost like the halfway point of the building, it looks really cool. It's like, oh, that's a nice way to look at an area from a different point of view. And it'd be like, you know what? It looks like a really nice place. I might go visit that place and go to the restaurant that they're promoting it, like Oodles, for example. And when it comes to drone operation, you know, like using a video drone, just the things to be aware, like make sure you get a drone's license in case you know, sometimes with certain drones, you have to have a license to manually operate because you can't just go willy-nilly. And not only that, just be careful how far you raise your drones when you're filming, you know, in a drone like as well, because go too high and you're gonna have, you know, national security, you know, going it's just kind of like, you know, you really don't want them to go up your doorstep. I mean, we've seen like incidents like, you know, like a couple that use a drone near an airport and they kind of tipped off a lot of the security, you know, like security, as well as causing a lot of uncertainty to air control because they seen an unidentified aircraft just moving about, which in reality is a drone. Yeah, that, I mean, it wasn't very good. They had to, I think they had to shut down the airport, but
what,
yeah,
for a drone?
I'm telling you, because it's like, it's something in your pathway. It's like you don't want to endanger your planes and, you know, your air. You just can't.
True.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, that's the thing. You have to be very wary. I mean, when I was at uni, when we tried out drone operation, they said we can't fly too high because we were near a military base almost, because they can pick it up from their radars, and if anything goes too high, they're going to investigate what's happening. I mean, you know, considering the political nature right now with Ukraine, and I'm just pointing out.
Just don't use drones.
I mean, if you're going to use it, be very aware of the rules when operating, because there are set rules when it comes to drone operation, because, you know, it's like following the rules of the aircraft or rules of the road. You've got to be very careful when you're operating such a flying machinery to video your video marketing.
I did not know there was rules to fly a drone, like,
I mean,
actual rules and laws.
Yeah, I mean, because of airspace, remember, like you have to have like authorized, you know, you need to have a license to operate your drone, and there's a limit to how high you can go, because go too high, you're gonna end up, you know, like it's almost like equivalent to like an airplane going way near the city's airspace, where the city limits, you know, to the point where it will cause like such concerns to people who are monitoring, you know.
I think drones are very important as well, because like capturing the actual restaurant from a bird's eye view, that's really nice, do you know what I mean? And actually a drone from the restaurant, the front of the restaurant, just going back, and then like people think, oh, they like looking at stuff like that, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, whilst your drone is up in the air, you don't want to see like a dodgy car park in the corner or something like that, do you know what I mean? You want to, you know, capture the actual restaurant. But
Yeah.
There are like, basically, it's the reason why I say about these rules about drone operation and flying drones, or, you know, like there's like a UK Civil Aviation Authority codes and laws based on it, like fly below 400 feet. Anything above 400 feet would be basically, it can go into it could come across any kind of it will increase the risk of going up to higher altitudes. Basically, will come across any form of aircraft, like air ambulance, police, as well as low flying military aircrafts. And yeah, don't fly basically. And then also another thing is, do not fly anywhere close to people than 50 meters, that kind of thing. Like anyone who's, if it's 50 meters near someone, it's like a no-fly zone, basically. You have to be 50 meters away from people.
Yeah, I'd also suggest avoiding like filming specific people unless you've explicitly got their consent anyway. There's tons of privacy concerns, and generally speaking, if you're doing film projects, if you're featuring someone in it, you have to get explicit like consent forms regarding all of that, which I presume you're not going to want to do for every single person you focus on. So generally try and keep if you're doing like drone footage, people kind of like vague, maybe blur them out a bit, though that can be editing intensive, as I'm sure our dear overworked editor would love to say. And yeah, just avoid violating people's privacy in general. It's a good idea.
Yeah, and basically stay away from anything, any airports, airfields, or any form of aircraft, because that's restricted airspace itself when it comes to drone operation for filming, because that would get you up to 5 years in prison if you endanger anyone in that aircraft.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. Yes. And tall structures, do not fly if it's not safe or legal. Like, and don't endanger any wildlife or anything like that. It's just, these are like rules that are based off drone operation, because I know a lot of people are using drones for filming or whatnot, but now it has to be, they're now enforcing a lot of those rules to make sure that no one gets harm, nothing endangers the environment as well as the people involved. That's why they try to avoid, they even like avoid now filming in air drones in crowded venues. Like anyone who has like a drone of themselves can't film like in festivals and stuff like that, because you can endanger anyone. It follows that same rule about being 50 meters apart from a group of people. You can't fly anywhere near a crowded, because in case that the drone that you're using to film crashes onto someone, like a shopping center or like a festival, it doesn't look good when someone gets hurt from it. So when you're filming stuff like with a drone, please do make sure you follow the codes of the UK's Civil Aviation Company and Authority, so that way you can stay safe. But not only that, using drones, as much as there are so many rules to it, there are so many good shots that you can get from it. I mean, I'm right now trying to look into trying to find a way to earn a license to fly a drone for filming, but it is like a good skill to have. If you do have it, it would help so much in terms of like almost like adding that kind of sense of like cost to your marketing, as well as show that you're actually serious about your restaurant, that you're willing to do any form of marketing and promotion.
Shows effort. That's the thing.
Effort.
You know what I mean? Like people like seeing effort. Like they're not just walking inside of a little iPhone 3 and just filming everything and posting it on Instagram.
iPhone 3, you know.
I mean, do you get me? Like, listen, I had an iPhone 4 2 years ago, right? But yeah, like it shows that this restaurant, if they're showing effort within the advertising bit, food should be good. You know, I mean, that's how people think. They're showing effort with this bit. That means the food is good. That means they're paying a lot for good products, good oil, good meats, good veg. You know, what I mean, if if they see something very quality, they'll think everything the rest is quality as well. That's the thing.
Not only that, there are videos where it doesn't need to be for the marketing promotion for a restaurant, but a lot now videos that can be used for educational purposes, like tutorials, education, process, screencasting, and training videos, because a lot of the training nowadays are more done by video. So rather than securing a time where you can able to do a training video, or a training at all for on-site training, a lot of them will do training videos. So this is the training you know how to do. Just make sure you watch it before SIFT. I mean, when I did my training for my first job in hospitality, working as a event staff, I kind of even though I had the on-site training, there were videos that they released on YouTube about how to set a table and organizing cutlery and everything like that. I always look into those videos if I need to refresh my memory, and also how to hold plates, because when you're holding plates, you kind of have this weird kind of claw, and then you have to stack your plates like that.
You're gonna hate me, but is that the place where you had the story about the £1.50?
No, not that place. I'm not talking about that place again. No, I'm not talking about that place again. But no.
Daniel, £1.50 everywhere in the screen.
No, please don't, Daniel. Please don't hate me for it. But no, but for real though, like it's like making sure you having these training videos will help provide support to your customers. And I can understand like a lot of owners will not have the time to really sit down and say this is how you do things, rather than
We can
adding
put
the support
people
tool.
our age record those videos. If you have enough trust in your employees, you can say, listen, you can take like the business right now is slow, that today is a slow day, so can you and like someone else record you guys preparing a table, or like how to clean cutlery, or how to hold plates. Like if the manager or the boss of the place doesn't have time, you can always ask your trusted employees to do so. Because if the day is slow, I had times that, hopefully I don't get sued. I had times where me and my teammates, we were just playing Uno. I brought a deck of Uno cards to the place, and we had no one for like an hour or so. So I was like, do you want to play Uno? Because we had the doors open. This was like in the beginning of the pandemic, 2019, like the winter time. So me and most of the people that are working with me were just playing Uno, and in that space of an hour and a half, we had one customer. So we were just playing Uno because like it was that dead that we were like playing games. Like my manager was like, I should just probably close the pub because there's literally no one in. It was like 9 p.m. We used to close at 11:30. He was like, I might just close it because there was one person in an hour and a half. So we're just playing Uno. So like if we didn't have videos back then of doing things, but now you can. So maybe instead of us playing Uno, we could have done those videos, you know what I mean, for people coming in after us. So it's always good if like you see your employees or you see that your place, your restaurant or your pub or your bar is dead. We say it dead as like there's no people coming in or out. Just tell them to do those tasks, because if you can't do it because you're busy, then your employees can do it when there's no one in, you know. So you're not disturbing the business. Is when it's literally no one coming in or out. One of them can be like, yo, do you want to just record a video saying how you clean the cutlery and how you put it in the table? Because even then you don't have customers coming in and out to sit on your table. You have a free table where you can actually show off how you do it properly. So yeah, that's my advice.
And two things here, like what I take from that is, of course, it shows a sense of care, and showing a sense of care is really important. You know what I mean? A care for not just their well-being as well, but their service. Like we are going, you should always go over the top with things. Do you know what I mean? To give the best service for people to actually come back. Another thing, every employee is a representative. Even through promotion, they're a representative as well. So through videography, stuff like that as well. People's individual social media as well. I work at this restaurant. On my social media page, I'm still going to promote my place of work as well. Do you know what I mean? It shows a sense of care. Like outside of work, you should always be a representative as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could do that through videography as well.
And I think the best way to end off the message of the podcast is to show a sense of care and pride, how you represent and visualize your brand and everything like that. Because
always be a representative. That's the thing of the restaurant through this.
I think that is the case, and always know that it's become now, it's that nowadays videos are now a requirement, not a recommendation for marketing. You have to make sure that you visualize your brand. So I think the best way to end off the message, like I said before, is you have to take pride and care in the visualization of your brand, because you're like Gaston said, we are representatives, and you know, the employees are the representatives, and it's all about how we carry ourselves and try to carry ourselves with pride and a sense of care and responsibility. I think that's the way to go about life, and I think it's so undervalued by some people, but I feel like a lot more people need to be consider how we look at ourselves. I think we just got to look at ourselves with pride.
Yeah.
And care.
Even thinking about what they say. So if I had a long shift at work, instead of telling, you know, someone in the bus I'm sitting next to, they're gonna ask me, oh, you look tired. Instead of saying, oh, I had a long shift at work, you could be like, oh, this is where I work. You know what I mean? I had a really nice shift. You come through as well, instead of, you know, giving it a negative, you know. You want to show that you actually enjoy the place. Do you get me? So instead of saying, oh, tiring day, of that, you know, social media is powerful and stuff. Pictures and videos are powerful. You show that and they're like, wow, this employee is being an employee outside of work as well, and he's promoting the restaurant to me. Shows that it's a really nice place. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, that's what you want in the end, for them to enjoy your work, that they want to promote it further. And I think that's the time we got, I think, for the podcast. I think this is the importance of videography. And
Yeah.
the best thing that we can do right now at our Pride is to make sure we get everyone to like and subscribe. Click the bell for
Comment.
comment, please. Comment. Yes, thank you. As always. Click the bell for the, for the notifications of our videos, and make sure, spread it around, share it on social media. We got our Facebook, Instagram, our website. If you'd like to have a look at the trial runs of our applications, as well as through orderpin.co.uk. And yes, this is OrderPin Technologies hosting the Hospitality Chat podcast. And again, my name is Mehdi Rahman, and our hosts, Joana Oliveira and Matthew Drummond-Poynter, and our guest, Yasin. I'd say thank you very much and goodbye.